Hello and welcome to the Ring It On podcast. I'm Jordan from Exo Sounds. Thanks so much for joining the show. Today we are talking, for the first time, we're talking food with the amazing caterer from Jimi from Season of Fire. Give him a round of applause.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't have to look at the cameras. It's weird if you look at the cameras.
I know.
I sometimes look in the cameras when you don't need to. But thanks for coming on the show, mate.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk food because I think it's one of the most important parts of the day. Obviously, everything's an important part of the day, but it's one of the because people cook at home and people think it's just going to be fine. And there's so much to obviously every element of a wedding. But food in particular has the logistics down pat. So anyway, before we get into all the nitty gritty,
Yes.
Where did all this come from? Are you a trained, qualified chef?
No. No. Why would you think that?
What a way to start. There you go. No, I'm not a chef at all.
I have, I'm Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat of experience, mate. I've worn many hats.
I love that, mate.
Many hats.
Yeah.
So most recently worked in the hospitality industry and tourism industry for 20 odd years out of school. Worked in some amazing restaurants, done mountain bike guiding and interpretive guiding, bartending, and security work.
Stop right there. What's interpretive guiding?
Interpretive guiding is where you're not necessarily working so much towards a physical goal, such as rafting or rock climbing or mountain biking, but more interpreting the geology, the nomenclature, the places that you're travelling through. Nice. So, a lot of that was done in my early years. So, 1,001 useless facts of information that only a guide would know.
Yeah.
But they're nice space fillers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No awkward
man.
Silences.
We've all got those, man. Are you Tassie born and bred?
Through and through.
Through and through. Yeah, awesome, mate. Awesome. And hospitality after that for a long time.
Yeah. So it's pretty frustrating for Mabel, who's my partner in life and in work, because we both have that situation.
Yes.
Parenting, working.
You're the second now. We've had Mozoff Photography.
Yes.
And we took husband and wife, and then Laura and I are husband and wife, and now you guys are husband and wife as well, right?
That's it.
There you
Absolutely.
go. And are you always? Oh, we'll get into this, but are you both running it in the same elements? Are you both on site all the time together? Are you doing different roles and stuff like that? I mean, we'll get into that, but
sure.
Is it like that? Is it split up like that?
Yeah, we definitely both have our own skill set.
Yeah.
Mabel is very much behind the scenes, but the engine, heart and soul of the business.
Yep.
So she's the foodie. She's the chef.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So Mabel, same thing, as well as bringing up 3 kids. Amazing chef, so has worked in the industry from Mona to Angazi restaurant up at Binalong Bay, worked there for quite a while. Etty's restaurant.
Yep, nice.
Some cracking venues. So she does a lot of the food, a lot of the behind the scenes, and I do a lot more of this.
Yes.
Out the front.
Yes.
Doing the administration, dealing with the people and the logistics and the staff, and so. But 100%, definitely love getting behind the fire, getting on the pans, and doing the cooking side of things.
How long's it all? So your company's now called Season of Fire. So you obviously had a hospital, a background. Everyone has these crazy backgrounds and how we do it. And is it something you've fallen into in the sense? Most of the people that have come on so far were doing something else, and then someone asked, something else, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that seems to be, I'm keep getting asked, so here I am.
There seems to be a bit of a trend here, doesn't there?
There's a bit of a trend.
Yeah, exactly that. So the beer world and the cider world is what I was working in most recently.
Oh yeah, doing what?
So I was a cider maker.
Where at?
Willie Smith's. Yeah. So I was
You're
there for
Willie
6 years.
Smith's?
Yeah, man. Yep.
Delicious.
So, master blender.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Of Willie's, and I've been in the beer world beforehand when we were living up the East Coast, up at White Sands Estate, up at Ironhouse Brewery.
Yep.
That's where I started in the beer industry.
Is that gotten quite big? Why isn't that? I was just seeing this. Oh yes, no, that's near Bicheno kind of thing.
Yeah. Falmouth,
right.
4 Mile Creek. Beautiful location. What a place to go to work.
Yeah, man. Where did you live on the East Coast?
Binalong Bay.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
And decided to move back to Hobart.
Yep.
Every time I go up there, I wonder why.
Yeah.
But time for a place for
Mate.
a time. We couldn't do what we're doing up there. So, look,
It's true, mate. It's true.
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. I was in Sydney on the weekend on Sunday and I was DJing on a balcony in Clovelly overlooking Coogee. It was 30 degrees. There's beautiful people. There's cocktails. And I was sitting there and I was like, why did I move back to Tas? Because we have had a shit time with weather. But I was like, why did I move back? And then, but the logistics of getting there that day were like 40 minutes, no fucking chaos. And I was like, oh, I remember why I didn't live here anymore.
Absolutely. No, well, yeah, and we're pretty blessed.
Oh, it's insane.
The places we get to go to, the venues we get to work in, Tassie's
It's unreal.
awesome.
I know.
Yeah, Hobart, 20 minutes, be at the beach,
Yep.
be in the hills, be
Yep.
at the mountain. We're very blessed.
Yeah, we are very blessed. I've always, even when I lived over in Sydney for, I was here till I was 18 and then moved there, and I was there for 15 years. But I was always a very big supporter of like, it's just, and when I left at 18, it was a different place as well. No Mono, no thingo. And,
Absolutely.
It all of a sudden weirdly just transformed into this place where people wanted to go. But I was always a supporter of just like, oh, it's just doing its thing really, really well. And it just keeps getting better. And now coming back here to work, and just like you say, the places that we get to go, and there truly is there's no like difference between the quality of the services and the food and the life and the vendors. It's insane. It's so we are very blessed and lucky to be back here working.
100%. You can understand why Tassie is such a destination venue for weddings.
Yeah.
The Mona effect is absolutely real, and it's
huge,
really
man.
put Tassie on the map.
Yeah.
Without question. I still remember in my 20s, you'd get into winter, the hospitality venues. Half of the staff would head off to the Perisher, to Hotham, to the Snow, to the Northern Hemisphere. It would be the couple of full-time staff that would stay on, and all the casuals would be dispersed. And we'll see you again in November.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
It's the experiences down here are far more elevated. They've really I think people still can come down here and see that we are maybe a little bit behind the times, but I don't think that's a bad thing either.
Yeah, no, there's elements where you kind of it's okay to be behind the times.
I think so too.
Fuck the times.
Yeah. I'm happy. You're happy.
Oh man. So Season and Fire
Yes.
is obviously it's the company that you've now fallen into, and you are you're a catering company that does it's really like a unique thing. So just start off by telling us about like what you do on a day, what you offer for both events and private thing. Let's just get into it, because I mean I've worked with so many different caterers down here, and it's just like a really unique, cool experience, and it's always a little bit different. And I'll say like there's. So not a bad experience ever, but always a little bit different. So what is Seasons Fire, and what would you, if someone had to explain it in like a minute, what would you say?
Great question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Season Fire is myself, my partner, and an amazing group of crew that are more family than almost what they are workers. Preparing food, local, Tassie. Really trying to take the food element though and make it something that people can connect with, which I think is, again, we're in Tassie. We're really proud of the place that we're in. It's really important, I think, to be able to tell the story of where the produce has come from,
Yep.
but then we elevate it again into the theatrical side of things, which Season and Fire is really well known for. So that's championing, heroing live fire cooking, cooking things fresh, cooking things hot, on site, getting all the smells, getting the chefs out of the kitchen and getting them in front of the guests and the customers, and creating, I suppose, another element for someone's big day. And that can be a private dinner for two, eloping, and a beautiful Airbnb up in Cradle Mountain, like what we had on Monday. Through to what we'll have on Saturday, which is 150 person in a paddock with no real kitchen, no power, no tools. So we get to bring this Tassie produce to the plate. But also have the discussion, have the theatre behind it, where it's a different experience to what most people would provide, I suppose.
Yeah, it is one of the coolest things I've seen is, and obviously we're skipping ahead a bit, but I remember one wedding you were on, one of the first ones we ever did together, and they were a mainland crew and they'd all flown in, and instead of having like the wait stuff kind of go up and drop plates and explain what's happening, you just kind of just said, I'm just going to take 2 minutes, and you stood up and just said, hey, this is what we've got, this is where it's from, this is why it's unique and significant, this is what you should look for in it, the flavours. Almost, yeah, you can see your cider making brewery, like pulling the elements of it all out to give it a bit more gravitas and weight. And I remember my wife and I were there, and I was like, that's so cool. Like, as in, that gives those people, you know, because sometimes a plate just gets plonked on your thing and you're at a wedding and you're just like, whatever, I want to talk to that guy, you know, what's going on, you know. Yeah. And it was just this element of like, yep, this is a way of giving a food the significance that it sometimes doesn't get in these bigger settings. Do you know what I mean? Especially like...
100% agree.
You know, like corporate function settings where there's like a 500 round table situation and...
Chicken fish,
something's just dumped in front of you and you eat it and you go...
You know, it's not at all what we want to do. Yeah, what we do is... It's hard. It's challenging.
Yes.
Who decided to start a fire-based cooking business in Tassie when, you know, over the last couple of months we've had nothing but wind and wet, and it makes it really hard.
Yeah.
But it also makes it, it makes it challenging.
Yeah.
But it makes it really rewarding when you get it right. Yeah. And when you balance that and people are like, oh, there's no way you're going to be able to get that done in this sort of, you know, this sort of setting, that sort of time frame, whatever it might be. But again, it's a lot more enjoyable than having something come out from a swinging door behind closed walls and sous vide machines. Microwaves are not my thing, at all.
So tell me all about it. So the first email comes in from somebody and they're going, yeah, we're getting married or we're having an event or whatever. And you're open to anything, like any size?
Yes, so we do heaps of elopements, heaps and heaps. So midweek, and there's been a real change. Maybe that's just our company growing or changing, or every business should be an evolution, right? Mm-hmm. And the customer will never stand still. No two people want the same thing, so we have to be flexible, and we love to be flexible, and not everybody likes to eat the same thing, so why would we offer the same thing over and over again? Mm-hmm. So when somebody approaches us and they want to do a wedding, 2 people to 200, no problem, that's easy. Mm-hmm. Size isn't an issue.
Do you have a limit?
Haven't hit it yet.
Nice.
No.
Nice.
No. Yeah, we're pretty...
As long as you've got the staff.
As long as you've got the staff. And staff are the key. Yeah. We can always go and buy more barbecues.
Yep.
To have the people to execute it. That's the really important part of it. Finding out what the couple's vision is. Yeah. Whether it wants to be something that's really informal and stand-up, and they want to have 8, 10, 12 different canapes, and that's how they want the vibe to be. They want it to be really party. They want it to be upbeat. Mm-hmm. Through to plated 3-course, which is a lot of what we do in the smaller dining experiences we do. So we have a heap of different menus. We have a heap of different options. I think we did a bit of a count and we lost count. It was over 100 different dishes that we sort of offer based on the different packages that we do, which is great for us because it's always evolving, always keeping us challenged, always doing something new.
And there's a thing of, I think the people that are coming to you kind of knowing what you're about, as your marketing kind of guiding them into the fact that it's no matter what you kind of are after, it's going to be done in this way. So you're almost selling a style of doing it. But a flexible on the menu, but it's going to be within this realm kind of thing. Is that a good way of putting it?
I think you're spot on. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So
thank you.
It's really
every now and then I get one.
My pleasure. It's not hard for us to find our people.
Yeah, sure.
And for people to find us, because it's pretty easy to say, you jump onto the website, the first thing you see is Mabel and myself cooking for a couple in a beautiful scenic location up in the Tyana River with open fire and serving everything that we're doing in a really open and communicative sort of a way. Mm-hmm. So I think that draws a lot of people in. Mm-hmm. But the experience itself, even though the fire is the medium for a lot of it, the actual dishes that we can present are really wide and varied. And, cooking over fire is just like using any other ingredient. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can use too little of it. You can use too much. You can add texture. You can add.
Explain that to
there's
me.
A whole,
Explain
right?
that to me in the sense of like cooking over fire. It's not just heat control. You're saying that there's it's obviously adding flavor or char or go into that for me.
Yeah. So when you do cook over fire, even just the act or the skill set of cooking over fire is a bit of a black magic, right? Depending on what the wind's doing, depending on what the charcoal is like, depending on the ambient temperature.
So you've made your life way harder than it needs to be.
It's the fly fishing version of, it's not just putting a worm on a hook and letting it all happen. It is, but that's half the fun of it, right?
Totally.
And again, the risk and reward. So yes, we've had to burn a few things along the way just to make sure at home, naturally, never for a customer.
Yeah.
But it's an ingredient within itself. So we're obviously bringing the texture to sides of things as well. If you're going to be cooking over direct flame, you're going to be getting a really nice char to it. If you can still cook in an indirect flame, like a smoking, an offset sort of a style. So you're getting the flavour of the smoke without getting the direct rendering or the charriness. So many different applications, so many different ways you can use fire to cook something. But you can absolutely. It's not just burning it. You can you can overdo the smoke element, the same as what you can oversalt something.
Yeah.
So it's finding the balance of what the protein is or what the vegetable is, how that responds best to the specific technique, and making that work.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
because smoking meats became super popular, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, and that's exactly where Season of Fire was pretty much born from.
Yeah, right.
So while I was doing a lot of brewing work, I started doing competition barbecue.
Oh, no way.
Got to travel pretty extensively around Australia. So we're part of a team called the Smoking Joint. So it was based out of Adelaide. So it was Damo and Liam and Grant, two of the boys living in Adelaide, one in Melbourne and me based down here in Hobart.
Cool.
So we'd never really practiced together, but we'd come together on a weekend in Melbourne or Sydney or Adelaide or Brisbane, wherever it was. And we did pretty well. We were sponsored. So Barbecues Galore would deliver Traegers to the competition site, or we'd tow one of our custom trailers to a barbecue event and finish work on Friday, get there Friday night, drink way too many beers.
Yeah.
First night fever, and then stay up all Saturday night tending a fire. And so, we did quite well. We ended up coming second in Australia back in maybe 2017. We got a ticket to the World Championship Invitational. So we all flew over to Lynchburg, Tennessee for the Jack Daniels Invitational. Won a World Championship trophy over there.
This is insane. I know you buried this before. It's like,
mind you, there is a bit of a tale in that. In that we went to a barbecue competition and we came home with a baking trophy. So we won the dessert category.
Oh, but that's just whatever. Who cares, man? I've been to Nashville and had some of the best barbecue in my life. Like, I recorded in Nashville.
It's a cracking
and
joint.
I was so ill most of the time because I just overeating all the time. It was just so good.
Yeah.
It's just so good. And you're just like, wow. But it's an art form. So how does one... I mean, that's incredible, right? That's that you won a barbecuing award. But how can you smoke meat for a function in the sense? Doesn't it take hours?
Yeah, so... And that's how it all that's how Season 5 started, I suppose, with people going, Jimmy's gone away and he's done all this barbecue stuff. Would you be interested in cooking for our Christmas party for our Sparkies and whatever it might be? So that's fine. I can cook the meats. Better speak to Mabel, see if she can do everything else because the meats is about where my
expertise
skill set finishes up.
Sure.
So you're only as good as your support crew.
That's it, man.
And Mabel's absolutely that. So, and that's where we started that part of the journey from. So, but we also sort of found that, exactly like you say, when you're cooking low and slow, for me personally, it's a little bit sort of smoke and mirrors, and it's not really something that's on show. It's really, really time consuming. But it's also pretty hard to engage with people while you're doing it as well, because if you're looking, you're not cooking, right? So you want to keep that smoker locked up. So essentially people will come along and go, that's a really cool contraption you've got there. Can I have a look at what you're doing? Like, no. It's locked up until I pull it all out.
Like one of those pits, like what do they have now? The green eggs and things like that you can get, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like our house is a barbecue graveyard. There's so many barbecues.
Can't even imagine.
But that's where we sort of started, and we moved to something that was more theatrical. So what we do now is really cooking over open fire, live fire, more in an Argentinian sort of a style, or even we use a lot of hibachis. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So Santa Maria's, we use equipment that's really flexible.
You've just reminded me of my favourite ever episode of Chef's Table is with Andre Malman or whatever down in Patagonia, and he's doing everything over fire. Man, I watched that episode, and I can cook okay, but like I just blown away by the joy and effort and passion. That was just awesome. I was just like, look at this.
Francis Malman is the absolute OG.
Yeah,
without question.
Yeah.
The Seven Fires book, or any of the, if anyone has taken the time to have a bit of a look at what he does, it's phenomenal. And again, that speaks to the variety of how you can cook over fire as well. Whether you're using a pizza oven, whether you're cooking in ash and you're burying pumpkins, or you're cooking on a chopper, a flat plate. The Little Hell, which was the champion barbecue that we carried around for years, but I'm getting too old. It's too heavy to carry.
Yeah, sure.
I had to retire that.
But it was your barbecue that you took with you from place to place because it was that dialed in.
Yeah, we just loved it.
Yeah.
Big flat plate, but really not just cumbersome.
Yeah.
But yeah, like now it's every season we try and bring a new piece of equipment into the fold.
Bit. You've got some sure things, but you like to bring an extra little bit to try.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yeah.
It's funny because gear dialed in, it's like people always think of like getting new stuff is better, which in theory it might be an upgrade or an improvement. But if you don't have it dialed in how to use it, like get it out of my face in the sense that like obviously I tie it all back to my knowledge of music, but like a brand new epic speaker that I don't know how to use in 1 second in an emergency, they want to do a speech over it, is useless to me.
Absolutely.
And I might add it in and over the course of 4 or 5 figure it out. But yeah, you can't just get a hold of your kit and go, yeah, let's do it.
No, well, and again, we want the equipment to work for us.
Yep.
Because the environments can be so challenging.
Yep.
We need adjustability.
Yep.
Whether it's heat, temperature, shelter.
So what are you bringing in? Like what is... Just to close the Francis Malman thing, interesting how that's in Patagonia and such an inspiring location for him. There's something about these locations, and I'd say Tassie a little bit too, right? In the sense there's something about it, if you're living in West Sydney, you're not really thinking, maybe you are, but like there's something about being in these locations, you're like, let's cook outside over fire. Let's do that because that's going to be just another experience along with the food. Is that surely something's part of it? Like, have I just cocked it or something?
No, it's 100% part of it.
Yeah.
That's, you don't invite people around to watch things cook in a microwave, right? Like,
there's the clip for the show that I needed. There's the clip for the hype reel.
We want to be in these amazing locations and have some really cool, fun stuff to look at. And that means that every year we want to bring a new piece of equipment that looks really fun and cool.
Yeah, cool, man.
And is fun for us to be able to use. And we're just getting, as you get busier and busier and you do bigger and bigger events, you need to be more logistically minded, which is I'm sure a big part of the conversation.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Well, I just started that. I said, so what are you bringing with you? Let's go. Let's use the rest of the conversation as an 80-person wedding because that is about where most hit. Some are 60, some are 100.
Sure.
And you can obviously add elements of like, if it's an elopement for 2 or a small thing. But I do think that like the majority of the times I'm with you and seeing you, it's in that 60 to 120 kind of zone. And I think that's a good framework for people that will keep listening of like, well, this is what we're bringing and working with from a staffing perspective, from a bar perspective.
Yes.
So let's go with that as a framework moving forward. But what are you bringing for that? What's coming with you? When are you getting there? How many staff? Go for it.
Yeah. Man, how much time have we got, right?
Oh, man, as much as you got. Oh, good.
And something that I always say when people do sort of ask about what we do and everything that goes into it, 90% of what we do is logistics based.
Yep.
And it's making sure that there's transparency and communication and that everything has been looked after. The boxes have been ticked way before we even get there, right? 10% is the cooking. That's the tiny little part. It's all of the preparation that goes into the event beforehand to make sure is that we have the right equipment, that we have the right people for the event, that we've got the right timeline and everything's sorted.
Timeline.
Which is often, when it comes to catering, not worth the piece of paper it's written on. But that's a huge challenge for us as well, cooking over live fire, trying to keep things, when the MC gets a sticky microphone and they're just sort of, a little bit stuck in their own little tail, and it blows us out by half an hour or so, which has happened.
Happens all the time.
It adds to the grey beard.
Yeah, because because even in your case in particular, you don't have like hot lamps that you can just plonk over stuff, do you?
No,
and like spacing even would matter.
Yep.
So what are you bringing? Let's say they're going out let's say you're going an hour from Hobart. What time are you getting there?
Yeah, so if we're going to be doing something like let's say, and we do everything from private residence to paddock cooking, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go with a paddock where there's absolutely nothing supplied. So we'll get there totally depending upon the timeline. We always want to make sure is that we're there and that we set up before the guests arrive. That's really important to me. We want to be seen for the right things. Yep. The last thing we want to be doing is getting up there, people are rolling in and we're setting up a marquee. It's just not a good look. So
couldn't agree with you
making
more, mate.
sure is, the professional element is on. Mm-hmm. So we're at least going to be there an hour or so before guest arrival. Mm-hmm. Depending upon what the menu is and what the what the timeline is for when food needs to be starting to be served, we're probably looking at around 3 hours before things need to be served. That's when we're sort of starting to look towards lighting the fires. So we're going to roll in, we're going to bring our own marquee, we're going to bring our own stainless benches, we're going to bring our own...
Really?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's all in there?
We do not hire stuff.
And it's because you don't want to take the risk?
100%.
Yeah, I'm the same.
We've got thousands and thousands of dollars of barbecues that are gas-powered, that sit in my driveway, take up valuable space.
I bet.
For when we get a total fire ban. Like you'll get that message in the morning and you're like, shit. So
I've never even thought of that. Think about that team at home.
The trailer. Yeah.
Like that is one element of experience and stuff. That's exactly what this show's about. You've never thought about literally what happens if someone's cooking over fire, you've booked them for your big day and there's a fire ban.
Yep.
I mean, it's a bummer. It's definitely a bummer no matter what, but I'm sure that the food is not exactly as it was intended, but it's still going to be great food, right?
Yeah, look, and the preparation that goes into the food is what is making it sing. As I said before, the fire cooking is one ingredient. We've already got great Tassie produce. Mm-hmm. We've sourced the blue eye trevally off the east coast of Tassie, and that's been delivered the day before. The lamb is lamb of Tasmania from up the northwest. It doesn't get any better. Cape Grim beef, locally sourced veggies from the farmers market. All the ingredients are premium. You can't make a great product with a shit ingredient, right?
No.
So if it means that we're not able to involve the fire element, there are bigger things at play.
Yeah.
It's safety of community, of staff, of property, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's a bummer. It's happened to us a couple of times.
Yeah.
But touch wood. But we're prepared. We're ready to go, and it is what it is. So, it's...
Well, you still have to execute the day at the end of the day. You got to feed people, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And you've got that plan in place.
It's all there ready to go. So all we've got to do is pull the trigger on changing the equipment over. So, but to sort of go back to a normal day would be, we'll bring in the knives, all of the serving ware, everything the food's sort of getting plated up and onto.
Really, everything.
All of the different barbecues. So, maybe we're doing some yakitori chicken skewers. So we're going to have a couple of Japanese hibachis there for really hot and fast grilling. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're cooking whole blue eye trevally. So we've got an asado style Argentinian grill, which cooks really indirectly, but then has the ability for us to be able to...
Yeah, so the tilted ones?
Yeah. And they're super fun, hey?
Yeah.
They're great to cook.
Well, they also look cool.
And they they self-marinate, It means that, that lamb rump that you're cooking, you can put that fat cap over the fire and you can just sit that bad boy there for 2 hours and rotate it up and down, move it around. Again, the theatre of it, people are always pretty keen to see what's going on and how it evolves over the couple of hours that they're there. So that's normally the first thing that people want to come and find out
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's because it's another element to the day that people aren't kind of expecting, I guess. They rock up to somewhere, they get married, they walk into Canapé's hour or whatever it may be, and then they're walking past you, hopefully, or in some element, seeing you, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is going to be later. Just like when you rock up to a good garden party or something, you're like, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a lamb on the spit or something. It's just, it's good. It's a good thing.
It's just good thing.
Do you like to be seen? Like, do you like to be front and center, or is it, I mean, if you can't, you have to not, right?
When you've got to hustle, right?
Yeah.
Like, many a conversation's been cut short with, when you hear something or you smell something or you see something that catches your attention that you, again, cooking with fire. It's always changing. It's not like you can just press a button and set something. It's always going to be moving. It's a live thing, right? So in that, sometimes you've got to hustle and cut a conversation short, but we're always encouraging. We want people to come up and talk with us about how we're doing it, why we're doing it, what we're cooking with, So, as well as bringing all the equipment with us, which is really important stuff, we're also bringing, that element of connectivity, and a lot of our staff really enjoy that. Mabel maybe not so much, but she'll do it if she has to.
Yeah. So how many staff are you bringing for that kind of thing? So let's say
80 packs.
How many?
80 packs.
Yeah, 80 packs to 100 packs. No bar.
Yep. So our most popular menu is our canapé and banquet menu. So that's 5 canapés served over an hour to an hour and a half. About an hour break. Normally some speeches, some formalities, people will take a seat, and then we're going to do a long table family style feast. So that's 3 proteins, 3 sides, and bread, all sort of laid down over a long table. Yeah, every 8 people.
Yep.
For 80 people, that's 10 drops you've got to do, which is 7 plates per, so it's 70 plates you've got to get down in a fairly succinct period of time, making sure that the bride and groom get theirs first always, making sure is that the dietaries aren't forgotten about. We live in a world where dietaries are a huge part of the conversation, and we want the first person, the last person to have the same experience. So making sure is that the FODMAPs, the pescos, the vegans, the vegos are all looked after and have an amazing plate in front of them, a great experience. So we'd probably be looking at maybe 3 chefs, maybe 4 front of house staff. That'd be a pretty standard sort of a number for that.
And are you one of the chefs? Are you always on site for it?
No, so between Mabel and myself. But then we've also got another couple of chefs as well that we use for a lot of midweek or small elopements, private dining experiences. So we've got 30 odd staff on the books that it's a lot of people to have. But at the same time, a lot of our staff are hospo legends, ex-hospo legends. They need to scratch that itch. They've got to click the tongs. Get in front of people. Everyone likes a little bit of extra money in their wage as well. So, we've got staff that are super experienced that are coming from a world where this has been a core part of their story as much as anything. So, we're getting myself sort of blending between the two of the front of house and the back of house. I quite like to have that sort of foreman sort of a hat almost.
Sure.
Where you want to keep an eye on things.
You have to. I think it's super important.
If you put your head down, you can sort of lose the bigger picture. There's still a lot of moving parts. As I said before, the timeline's not worth the paper it's written on sometimes. So communicating with the MC, communicating with the wedding planner, communicating with the musicians, making sure is that everybody's on the same page, so as that we're communicating and the bridal couple and the guests are completely untowards of what's going on behind the scenes, right? So if I bury myself in the pans, I'll lose that a little bit. So, and also, as you said before, I like to be able to tell the story. It's a story worth telling about the produce, and if people are happy to listen, I'd love to get out there and talk to people about it.
Yeah, that was super cool. Like I said, that wedding, that was the first time I've seen that done and rather than having the staff say, "What are you eating?" It was like, "Here's what you should care about, and here's what we're doing." It was cool.
Yeah, and it's really important to a lot of people. food
Absolutely.
is where food's coming from, and what you're doing with it is more in the conversation now than it probably ever has been before.
It's an interesting thing, yeah, absolutely, and it's an interesting thing with the vegan and the vegetarian debate and stuff like that. I think to be a meat eater it's like you should care a little bit. You should give a shit and respect the animal and treat it. But you find that I think there's a weird idea that some barbecuers are just like. Like they don't care about animals. It's like, no, they actually quite respect. There's a lot of respect, right?
Oh, 100%.
There's a lot of care given.
Yeah, and we know
which is better.
most of our producers that we're getting our produce from.
Yeah.
I think that's hugely important.
It reminds me, I don't know why, but I was reading this book the other day, and one of the most famous executioners in the history of America, he was in like the 1920s. He was one of the first ones to really figure out how to do it effectively in the electric chair. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't like a morbid, he wasn't like a death lover or satanic or anything. Like, he actually figured out how to do it with respect and quickly as possible really, really well. Yeah. And he thought it was this humane, like he wanted to do it. So, because he could do it better than as in he respected the concept of death so much and like getting it done without, whatever. He didn't like the idea of it, but if it has to be done, let's give it the gravity. And there's something about that is, I think, similar in a weird way to like caring about meat and giving a shit about where it's coming from.
That was huge.
But you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's like in the same way. It's like he's caring enough to, to give it the gravity that it deserves,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, obscure, sure.
Yeah. How do I get my way out of this one?
No,
it's gonna be,
I just think it's the same thing. It's the same thing as caring for the animals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And reminding people.
Yeah, and we want to use sustainable produce as well, right? So we were talking before about one of the dishes that you had at the Taste of Summer when we were there last year. So the squid dish that we do. So we use squid tentacles. Not only are they freaking delicious when you cook them over fire and you get this amazing texture, but it's a bit of a byproduct that most people don't normally sort of consume, right? So
interesting.
If we have that opportunity to be able to use something that's not a primary cut, like sure, we cook Scotch fillet and we cook eye fillet, but we also love to be able to use skirt steak or flank steak or beef cheeks, and yet a lot of these cuts are, as you were saying before, from the low and slow movement, they've become a lot more popular. Lamb shanks used to be for your dog, right?
Yeah,
like
for
sure,
sure.
It was a peasant food.
Yeah,
now you pay a premium price for it, which is great for the producers, for the farmers, because they do a lot of heavy lifting in this conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't get talked about or given the right amount of praise, I think. Can be forgotten about. But
what
that's...
it's the toughest job in the world, isn't it? Like, it's madness.
Yeah. And that was an interesting thing that I really got to see firsthand when I was in the cider industry. So working with Willie Smiths down in the Huon Valley, working on the orchard and dealing with the orchard owners and the farmers that were literally going through the day-to-day, the week, the highs and lows, man. Hey, like, you're there, it's a beautiful day, 5 minutes later, hail. Like, cherries, done.
Yeah, man.
Like, let them hit the ground. Or they had a really, really... And then the other side of it, which I didn't even really think about, New Zealand had a couple of years ago, an absolute booming year. They could sell their cherries at a cheaper price point. The price went out of the market. It was the best growing year Tassie's ever had, and they were literally letting the cherries hit the floor because it was the price point was so low for them, what they could actually get. It was going to cost them more to pick it than what it was they could sell it for.
It's just crazy. Like, the economics of it is absolutely baffling.
Full power to anybody that takes farming on as a role.
Yeah. It's the same with wine. I only know from a wine perspective because I do like a wine. But just like one, if you have a frosty year, like Home Hill did a few years back, and they lost their millions of dollars. It's gone.
Smoke taint.
Smoke rye. Like,
it was the same thing with the apples as well.
The variables, I bet. Yeah, they're down in the same region, right?
Yeah,
Home Hill and that one.
Yep, absolutely. But so full power to anybody that takes that on as an occupation.
Yeah. Mate. I mean, yeah. I mean, all occupations in the small business world have their moments, but there's something about the elements of that that's just really out of your hands.
Yeah, you've got to be passionate about what you do, right?
You do. You do, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Well, absolutely,
Yeah.
and it's the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I
So-
suppose, we're going to go.
We gotta go all day on this.
That 80-person wedding that.
Yeah. So talk to me about if you're doing bar as well. What's the what is the requirements of a modern wedding in a private property for you to run the bar? Are they able to these days just run an open bar themselves? How does that work?
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So why would somebody add on the bar for you?
Yeah.
It's a big shitty job.
It's also it is. It's
Yeah.
a big shitty job, and you've got to deal with people that maybe aren't always in their best hour.
In their heads they
but
are.
it's they, and they're always right.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is the whole conversation around trying to do everything sort of DIY and doing everything yourself, and still trying to enjoy your day, because you're there for 8 hours. You're surrounded by 80 of your best friends and family, and once you sort of break that down, it's only a couple of minutes per person that you've really dedicated to this whole experience. By the time you've gone away and you've done photos, and you've done the ceremony, and you've done the sunset photos, etc., family photo, to be running around and organising logistics, whether it's bar or making sure that the cake's being cut by Auntie Flo, who was kind enough to donate a tiramisu, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's
You don't want to be worried about dirty
you
glasses.
don't want to be worried about dirty
And
glasses
not cold
and
beer.
making and people are there for a good time.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
a vibe, right? Like it's weird. We're living our best experience at a wedding. Everyone walks in with a smile.
Yep.
It's great food, great booze, great connection between people. Don't trouble yourself with making sure that the bathtub's got ice in it.
Exactly, man. 100%.
Yeah, bring the professionals in. But we'd normally sort of dedicate one bartender per 30 people. So for an 80, that'd give us 3, which means that we can have dedicated staff to doing tray service, making sure as after the ceremony there's flutes of champagne poured, so as that everybody gets a drink in their hands straight away, that there's not a lineup of people there trying to fight over each other, making sure as that glasses are being topped up as you go around, which isn't just a great service, but it's also a great way to make sure that you're minimising washing glasses.
Absolutely.
Which is, when people have a few drinks in them and they got to duck to the bathroom, they have a conversation, first thing they're going to do is put a drink down, wander off, and, it's all right, I'll just go get a fresh one. Those glasses don't pick themselves up magically. No. They don't wash themselves
And it
magically.
minimises, I think people as well, there's a false economy there to minimising wastage too, because I think a lot of people pop that glass down half full and then it disappears. And like the end of events, I was at a private event on Sunday, and like the amount of half-drunk cocktails, like I couldn't if it was in a bar at, I don't know, $20 a cocktail, would be thousands, I reckon. It was just all, like someone's plonked it on that shelf, hasn't found it, it was just, and there's definitely an element of that at a wedding, because it's free. So they don't care. So they're like, I'll just get a refill, So having somebody in charge of that helps.
There's an infinite amount of booze. There's not. Listen to what we tell you when it comes to...
And
20 boxes of sparkling seems like a lot. I'm like, no, that'll be about right. And, we've ran out of sparkling after now. So,
Do you bring in a cool room? Do you have like a mobile cool room that you have to drag with you?
Yep.
How many cars are you bringing?
So what if someone's going to do a DIY experience and they want to supply their own booze, which we're totally okay with.
And what percentage of your bookings are that?
A pretty reasonable amount.
Yep.
Pretty reasonable amount. So, and we're okay with that. We'll supply the RSA qualified staff. So, we've got great staff that know how to read the room. They know how to make sure that people are there for a good time and don't go too crazy. So if someone's going to be bringing in their own booze, they're going to need to get it there somehow, and they're going to need to refrigerate it before the day, right? You've got to make sure that cool room, when you're putting 40 cases of beer that have come off the shelf at Dan Murphy's.
I don't even think about this. Before the day.
You cannot get that volume of mass to cool down in a short period of time. So, it needs to be in there the Thursday, the Friday before the event on the Saturday. It's, make sure that you don't get the boys to put all the red wine in the core room, which we often find quite a few
What would
times.
somebody do in that scenario if they've got a generator? If they've got a generator situation, what do you do in that kind of? What would they do? How could you help somebody in that scenario?
And this is the interesting part of the conversation, right? So we're being employed as caterers. We're being employed to make cold stuff hot most of the time. That's that's the food side of it.
Sure.
If people are bringing us in a DIY bar scenario, we're there we can guide you along the way, and we can give you, these are the rough volumes I think you should be sort of getting. This is the right amount of sort of glassware that you think you should be getting. And this is the staff that will need to be able to execute the event. And this is what you're going to need to supply to make sure that if you're going to set it up in a paddock, you're going to need a generator, because you're going to need a generator for the speakers and for the lights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for the, So the cool room's just another piece to that puzzle.
Sure.
But there's a lot that goes into it, right?
So much DIY weddings in marquees, in paddocks.
Yep.
Are a good idea in theory. I don't know how much they would save you versus a venue, or if they would at all, or even that's in part of it. But they are logistically absolute chaos.
Yeah, it's removing everything afterwards. A lot of people think about the lead up and the actual execution of the day, but it's the day after as well. How do you get rid of 100 cartons worth of wine bottles and beer cans and that sort of side of things? But a paddock wedding or a remote wedding is often very special for a reason.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
I'm not begrudging them.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the journey that you need to go through.
Yes.
And we'll always have that conversation with people.
So you help them out with all that, just from an experience point of view.
Yeah, well, we're going to set ourselves up for failure if we're not transparent the whole way through. 100%. And transparency for us is absolutely key.
Yep.
So we want to make sure is that when you're sitting in your banana lounge, having a daiquiri on your honeymoon, that you're not going to be getting an invoice for staffing or for hours or things that are accrued on the day. That doesn't sit really well with me. We like to be able to go into the conversation and go, cool, look, this is the menu that we're providing, this is the price point, this is inclusive of our front of house staff, our back of house staff, these are the travel costs to the location, this is what it is. Really only sort of changes based on what their confirmed number is or their menu choices.
Is it a per head price?
It's a per head price. And there's a few items. Let's say if you wanted Southern Rock Lobster on your menu, sure, we can do it for you. It's sitting at $155 a kilo at the moment. It's going to be mighty expensive to pull it off, but we can do it for you. There's never a problem.
Yeah,
we can always make it work. It's just what cost in that side of things. So transparency. All menu costings are as inclusive as we can make them.
Yeah, and I think that shows even with the, I do think a big thing I've noticed down here in Tassie versus the mainland side of things is, and again, I love working on the mainland, but because everybody is on a mission to execute the day successfully, vendors aren't afraid to touch on other areas to check that everything's been thought about, because just like you say, if you're fine to do the bar, do you need our staff? Yes or no? Fine to help with that. Have you thought about the generator? Because have you thought about the DJs? Like having that shows not only your experience, but your commitment and willingness to absolutely make sure that this day goes off without a hitch.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because there's so many things the idea that we would even as a musician sit there while hot beer, every single person down here from photographer to we'd all just be grasping. We'd just be like, quick, let's help, because who didn't send this email in advance?
We're very, 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 very lucky that, in the company that we keep down here, the professional element of vendors in Tassie are phenomenal. There's a real, and Tassie has a bit of a collegial sort of a thing anyway, between industry and workers. It was the same in the hospo world and the booze world. It's very much the same in the wedding industry world as well, where people do get in and help out. And can I help you carry your speakers? Can I, whatever it might be, right? It's more people behind the wheelbarrow,
Yeah.
the lighter it is to move, right?
Absolutely.
And that means that the day is going to go
like that.
so much better if everyone's pushing in the same direction.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important, and it's definitely something that I think we do really, really well down here. Yeah.
Especially because there is a large percentage of the days that are sorry, not a large percentage, but there is like a 50-50 like the venues obviously, and then there are a lot of these. There's a lot of these. I'm going to do it at my mate because we have more space, so more people have the opportunity to offer backyards and creative creeks and the shack where we grew up. You know, like there's all these things that are more available than they are.
And how lucky are we that we get to go to these places too,
so
right?
cool, man.
Like, you know,
so good.
I went and did a site visit last week up in Coles Bay. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Private beach, beautiful bushland. They need to do some serious work to be able to get this place to a point where they're going to be able to get the market. They're going to need to bring an excavator in. They're going to need to flatten the land out. Right. Oh yeah, it's going to be like Dad's got a job. Dad's got a job.
Do you always do a site visit?
Not necessarily. If it's something that's a bit tricky and a little bit peculiar, and a venue that we haven't been to before, or just doesn't seem like it's pretty transparent. Yeah, we like to, hey? Like,
you're not going to drive 3 hours to check it, but we could maybe.
Yes. Yes,
This is why you're good at what you do.
Yes, I am. We've got an event. We do very rarely. We do ticketed events, but we're curating a menu for Northwest Trailgrays up in Devonport in April next year. And to go and look at the site, it was a 4-hour drive, have a look there for an hour, have a bit of a chat to the people, and then 4 hours home on a Friday before we had 3 events on that weekend. But you have to know what you're in for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, like it's.
Well, it's in the price. We were talking about this
preparation.
We were talking about this with Ben and everything. It's all in the price. Like the invoice that you're sending to somebody is inclusive of the fact that you know you have to do that. Yeah, that you are aware.
Yeah,
you're not going to. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And if we need to put past that cost, if it's going to be travelling for 6 hours, the one up to Coles Bay the other day was great. Jumped on my motorbike. It was a beautiful day. Must have been one of the 5 that we've had in the last 3 months.
Freaking terrible recently, wasn't it?
It was epic. And took the bike up there, and it was amazing. What a great day. But it was an entire day. It was a day that we couldn't, that I couldn't do an event on. But that's what we've got to do to make sure is that the events are done seamlessly.
Yep.
So we can roll in there on the day. We know where the marquee is going to be. We need to know where the water's going to be from a wash-up perspective. We need to understand the flattest area.
Water.
Oh, don't talk to me about
No, let's talk about water. I haven't even thought about water.
The dishes.
So included in everything is washing and all that stuff?
Yep.
So what do you do in a paddock when there's no water? Like what's your water source?
Yeah. So 20-litre drums.
Yeah.
If it's during the height of summer, we'd always like to have some water on site, even if it's just to make sure that if an ember manages to escape out of a fire or something along those lines. Never had it happen yet, but we always want to make sure that we've got 20-litre drums there, that there's some element of water source. If you're going to be setting up in a grassy paddock in the middle of nowhere, make sure that there is an IBC of water there. 1,000-litre water or whatever it might be. So it's pretty rare that we don't have water for us, but it is exactly like you were saying before. Like, if it means that we've got to bring in 20-litre jerry cans of water, then we'll either have a dedicated ring burner, and that just constantly keeps getting topped up with water. That ring burner.
Sorry, what's a ring burner?
A ring burner, just a gas bottle.
Oh, right.
3
I don't know the jargon, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, apologies. And we've gone and bought, which is hilarious. But this is all about what we do and finding the tools that work for you, right? So going and getting LPG, essentially they're heated showers.
I was going to say
when you go to like PCF,
camping showers seem like a good idea.
So you have the little pump, you've got the battery, charge it up, put the gas bottle in it, turn it on, hot water comes out the other side, out of the shower head, and you use the shower head to rinse the plates.
This is a good idea, man. This is a good idea.
It took me a season or two to get to the point to like realise that was a good way to go. But, you know, it'll be set something up at the back of the marquee on a table. You've got a 50-litre fish bin, you know, big recycling bin full of water. You pull all the plates off and you scrape them down because even if you through a hire company, you still need to have the plates at least rinsed.
Yep. And you'll do that for a client and leave them there, like you'll rinse?
Yep.
Yeah. So if they've bought their own crockery or whatever, or have a stylist that is involved in that, I guess sometimes you have to work with stylists that are doing that?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. But yeah, it's just sort of part and parcel. Some venues supply their own plates, crockery, cutlery, that sort of side of things. And, you know, it's amazing when you get to go to a venue like a Valleyfield or something along those lines, and they've got the commercial kitchen there with the dishwasher. You're just like, yes.
Four Clues? Four Clues have a commercial kitchen
they've
too?
got a beautiful kitchen there. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Heat lamps, baby.
Yeah, man. There you go. Heat lamps, baby. Time on out the wazoo. Who cares? I got heat lamps, man.
We do love, happy to work in marquees, happy to work anywhere, but when we do it a lot.
You've got to dial
in venue catering as well, right? So, when there's a bit of shelter, we'll absolutely use it. It doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing the theatrical cooking. You're just not seeing the back of house stuff, right? Yeah, you don't really need to see somebody slicing the bread or assembling the salad. You want to see the fun stuff, the cool stuff all out the front. So that still happens in when we're doing a location or an on-premise cook up with this kitchen facility.
And are you prepping lots before you get there? Like, are you doing heaps of kitchen prep? You've obviously got, I heard just before you said we started recording, you've got a kitchen somewhere?
Yeah. So dark kitchen, very few get to see it. Yeah. But it is, like, it's a fully functioning commercial kitchen that's in Moona. Yeah. That's Mabel's second home. Yep. Could be a first home. I'm not too sure. Spends a lot of time there. But we've got prep chefs and Mabel, and they run that. So for us to be able to do an 80-person event, we're talking at least 2 days worth of prep, right?
Wow.
Like comfortably.
Wow.
If you want to be doing, if you want gravlax, that's going to be cured overnight the day before. Like all of our proteins or whatever, they're all rubbed the day before.
Yeah. So you're ordering too midweek, right? You like,
Yep. So we would normally suggest, 3 weeks out when we really want to be getting the nitty-gritty details really locked in. And that's the timeline. That's making sure that we've got the guest numbers, the guest dietaries, the vendors, the vendor dietaries. Often gets forgotten about.
Yeah.
Not on my watch.
Yeah.
Lawrence, I haven't forgotten you.
Lawrence got a shout out.
Yeah, go Lawrence.
Like, he spent like a year just getting sick.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to explain it to people. He's like, I don't know, I think I'm allergic to garlic and onions. And then I was like, I think we can write it. They'll understand.
Oh, yeah. So,
that's FODMAP, right?
Yeah. So salt, pepper, garlic is the general marinade or brine for, pretty much everything that you ever want to season, right? Yeah. So those poor FODMAPers where they can't have garlic and, but that's fine. Like if we know, that's easy. Yeah. I'll make sure that we take some chicken thigh, a lamb rump, and we'll just salt it.
Just do it, salt it.
That's easy. And we'll just cook it
oil,
separate.
Whatever.
Yeah, 100%. Right. And it's still delicious.
And so all that stuff is prepped. Like that is in the kitchen in Moona and in Tupperware, cut, thingoed, ready to be loaded into a van to take out. How many events are you doing a year?
I think last year it was over 200. So
massive,
it was
massive numbers.
But that's also some weeks we might have 7 or 8 weddings on it, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're all 80-person weddings.
No, for sure.
So we'll be doing a lot of intimate elopements, especially midweek, and maybe we can do like 2 or 3 of those on a day if we wanted to, right? So maybe you're doing one at Flagstaff Estate, maybe you're doing one at Talia Haven, maybe you're doing one at the Doctors, all over the state, right? So these hours to travel to, beautiful occasion, and our chefs turn up, take the equipment, everything's prepped, everything's ready to go. You rock in, and you have that amazing experience where it's an intimate or whatever it might be. But we can do multiples of those a week. Yeah. So, but the same amount of prep goes into it. The same amount of emails goes into a 2-person is what it does for a 200
Yep.
almost. All of those I's need dotting, the T's need crossing. The protein, to prepare 1 lamb rack or to prepare 10, it's much of a muchness, right? Like it's all the ordering, it's getting the ingredients made up, it's getting the proteins ordered, making sure that everything's fresh, making sure that everything's prepared.
Yep.
It's not just steak on a plate.
No, of course.
It's so much more.
Yeah, it is so much more. And yeah, I mean that's a lot of events, but like you say, it's all the prep and the intricacies there of, nailing what they want, but you've got it dialed in.
Yeah, and
you've got it dialed in.
Got it dialed in, baby.
You got it dialed in, baby.
Yeah, but and that's so like every event's like 4 days at least.
Yeah.
Like not even including the administration, which I have the pleasure of doing because it means that, and I do say that very genuinely, because it means that I have this amazing connection that we've built over the meeting that I had this morning. The wedding is for March 27. So we've essentially got 18 months before.
Oh, 2027.
2027.
Yeah,
What did I say?
You said March. Oh, I thought you meant like the 27th of March.
Oh,
you mean
no.
March 2027? Yes.
So
absolutely.
18 months out.
Yeah.
Which is fairly standard.
Yeah.
People
Absolutely.
are still surprised that we can't do weddings for this
Yeah,
December.
no, that's been coming up a lot. Hey, it's
Yeah.
like down here, the ones that are working lots. I've got late 27s. It's just they're coming. 2028 came in the other day. I was like, what are you talking? I don't know what I'm going to be doing with my life.
I'll never really sort of say that we shut our books per se.
No.
We're always open. We're open to the conversation. If somebody is so prepared that they're able to say, get the vision, things are expensive. Like life is expensive. Food costs at the moment for us is just absolutely out of control. For us to be able to try and figure out what we should be charging on a menu for something that's 2 years down the line.
I know.
Is really...
Well, that's a fascinating question. What do you do if you've kind of locked in a price and then it balloons?
Yeah, so in a T's and C's, we do say that if your wedding's booked 6 months in advance, then we'll sort of requote it. I don't think I've done it yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty onerous. I like to, if we've had that conversation, we've said, this is your starting point, this is your price, this is your cost.
To make it work.
We really try to, unless things have, but everything's a case by case, right?
Yeah.
We've had numbers change. Throughout COVID, we'd have an event go from 120 people to 12. We'd book that weekend out for that person. There's only 52 weekends in the year. We've only got so many weekends that we can really make income for the 2 of us.
Absolutely.
As well as all the costings. So
it
makes it really hard. But it is what it is,
make it
right?
work, yeah.
Got to make it work.
Yeah.
They
were dark days.
Oh, they were hard,
They were
weren't
dark days. They were the darkest of days.
They were hard work. But yes.
So does your menu have dessert too? That's the only thing we haven't really touched on that I wanted to ask. One other wood question that I wanted to ask you. Do you dessert?
Do we dessert? Well, mate, World
you won
Championship.
you won an award, right?
Yeah, I know. I cannot bake my way out of a wet paper bag, mate.
Really?
But Mabel does.
Yeah, Mabel
so
does. She does cakes too, right?
She does cakes too. So Love Mabel is her cake business.
Yep.
Which she was sort of doing before we were doing Season of Fire, and Season of Fire seems to have or sort of swallowed it a little bit. Sorry, Dale.
That's all right. 200 events a year will do that.
Well, yeah. But, a lot of those events we're doing cakes for as well.
Oh,
and
cool.
a lot of those events we're just doing cakes for. So whether it's like a micro, macro, a Lambeth cake. Do you know what a Lambeth cake is?
No, I don't know.
I didn't know.
I don't know what
It's
a
a
Lambeth
love heart.
Oh, okay.
Love heart cake.
Nice.
Lambeth.
Lambeth.
Through to barrel cakes, through to 1, 2, 3 tiered cakes, through to... I was listening to G talk about, tiramisu. Like, that's... You want it, we can do it. Last night I was doing we served an Earl Grey and blackberry tart.
Nice.
With raspberry coulis and vanilla cream. And so, like
this is Mabel
an
doing
individual
this
plate.
in-
100%. 100%.
Yeah, you'll
So-
slap a lamb, but she'll sort out the raspberry tarts.
100%.
Earl Grey tarts, sorry.
Earl Grey tarts,
Yeah.
There's she's got she's got a great palate, that lady.
Yeah, beautiful.
And
She's a trained chef, like she's a chef in another life?
yes,
Well,
she's a chef in this
She's a
life.
chef in this life, yeah. So, I mean, like...
she just has to put up with me and my crazy visionary ways. You've
Well, it's
always
a-
got to have
it's
someone
a
that's
brutal
head in the
job,
clouds,
man.
somebody feet on the ground. She's definitely the feet on the ground. She tells me yes or no. More often than not, she just makes it work.
Yep.
But look, it's the cake side of things it's interesting. It's an interesting end to an evening. Like cakes, the traditional. Yeah, we don't do heaps of hardcore traditional weddings. So I suppose what a lot of people would necessarily look back on as being traditional. Certainly open fire cooking and canapes and more of a stand-up element and family sort of style eating isn't what I'd call traditional wedding food, right?
Totally.
When I think back to when I was younger and you get invited to a wedding or whatever it was, it was that alternate drop. Chicken fish. You'd be seated for ceremony and, we go to a church, whatever. Dessert and cakes are not necessarily the traditional part of a wedding as what they once used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So cakes made of cheese.
I love those cheese
talk
cakes,
about
man.
that.
I love that.
Oh, man, I love that.
I love a grazing board. I love
a grazing board.
I love a cheese wheel cake because I'm just like, yes, I'm going to get some of that later.
Yeah, damn straight.
Because I do say, I'm not a sweet tooth man, which is why I like a savoury,
you and me both,
a grazing plate. But I have seen, desserts are famously left just hanging forever. Like I've never seen, like desserts don't get jumped upon like you think, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I absolutely
Do you agree? Am I talking out of school?
No, not at all. Like, and I think, again, like we're talking about this time period of what, it's a jam-packed day.
Yeah, man.
Like the bridal party, they're getting their hair done. They're getting their makeup done. They've been with, the Livs and the Bens, since early in the morning. And then they've got to go to venue and they've got to get the dress on, and there's all the stress. And then once you get there, you've only got that finite amount of time. And sitting down at a table for 3 or 4 hours isn't everybody's idea of fun.
Yeah.
ADHD runs strong in the hospitality world. So, trying to sit me down at a chair for 4 hours, you're doing really well here. Thank you.
Mate, we're going good, man.
We're engaged.
Yeah.
But, people want to get up and move around.
Yeah.
So, if the cake gets cut, we probably serve it more in a canapé style now than what we used to.
Yeah.
So, dropping a plate is probably more reserved for maybe some of the older crew, and we'll do that.
Yep.
Of course. If we know that Nan and Pop are literally going to be sat on their seat and they're not going to be getting up and dancing and boogieing, as long as there's a couple of plates there, we'll make sure that they get looked after.
My mother-in-law at our wedding could not believe that I was like not interested in the dessert situation, and she baked a whole bunch of stuff. Our wedding was pretty DIY. I was in Sydney 10 years ago, but she baked a whole bunch of stuff because she couldn't believe it. And I was like, I promise you, we'll be eating that for another week. And she couldn't believe it. And it was just all left. End of the day. You know what I mean? It was just all left. It was just stacked up. A few people touched it. She touched it. But it was just like, I've just seen it time and time and time again where it gets dropped on a table and they've already gone to the dance floor.
And I don't want to be doing mobile out of a job here either.
God, no. Well, the cake is different, obviously.
But the cake is different. And I think, and the cake is, like I'd probably say maybe 60% of people will go for it.
Yeah.
So doing a cake that's not necessarily the full size, for 80 people, you're probably looking at a 2-tier barrel cake. If you want to do the photo,
yes,
get the little micro, get the little 6-inch, 8-inch, whatever.
Yeah.
Get the photo with the knife going into it. Maybe you've got a slab cake out the back.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Slab cake. That's the guy.
Slab cake.
I like the idea of that.
Oh, yeah.
And cheesecake. Everyone just, not cheesecake.
Cake of
Wheel
cheeses.
of cheese.
Yeah.
Wheel of cheese and meats. Do it.
Oh, we've done a few now.
Your vendors will be happy.
Oh, everyone will be happy. Sorry about the dairy-free people.
Yeah.
But, that... we do heaps of ham stations.
Oh, man, I love this.
Yeah,
the end of the night.
Yeah.
Like...
Late night snack is that's big. The jam.
I'm into it. I agree. I tell you, I saw that a long time ago and then it kind of disappeared a little bit. But I feel like it's coming back. But there was something to be said for like, I don't really want this now, but if you brought out some ham and a bit of bread in an hour, I would be overjoyed.
And treat me with some pickles.
Yeah,
pickles, mustard, and sauces, and that's Mabel's jam.
You guess going onto the bus. And they've just like got a little snacky there. Oh, come on!
And I think it's also, and I encourage, especially if we're talking about a location that's maybe a bus ride away, or something that's a little bit more remote, where you can't sneak into Macca's for your fillet of fish. Yeah.
Fillet of fish?
I said it. I love a fillet of fish.
Okay.
It's a dirty it's a dirty secret. It's not
Dirty
so
secret?
But to have a late night snack that the couple might have as like their absolute signature item, right?
Yeah.
Like if a fillet of fish is your dirty thing, then we'll make you the best fillet of fish you've
Yep.
ever had.
Sick.
We will source the right bread. We'll make house make tartare. We'll go, we'll source flathead for it and do something really bougie. We've done that. We've right through to cheeseburgers, toasted sandwiches. Like
Toasties.
it's the mop up.
Yeah.
End of the evening. Save yourself from a bit of a hangover the day after.
It's good
a little
advice, man,
bit.
because honestly, lots of people these days, and I've talked about this on another one, but have a lot of, like, the recovery day sometimes is bigger for the bride and groom because they actually get to relax.
Yeah.
They're more amped
Yeah.
on that. And it's like, if you want your guests to be feeling good at the recovery day, maybe, a little bit of food on the way out the door.
It's it's a really good thing, and like you say, can be done in many formats. The grazing station,
Super cool.
the ham station, right through to
I feel like hams,
Bag of,
giant hams shouldn't be
fish
safe
and
for Chrissy so much. It's like ham should be everywhere all the time.
Yeah, but we've got one. So this Saturday we're doing a big marquee wedding for 81 people.
Yep.
I should have just used that as my.
There you go. Where are we at this Saturday?
This Saturday we are up in Bothwell.
Am I with you?
Marquee up in at Ratho Farm.
Checking my calendar as I look at it. No, I'm not.
Oh,
One of my guys might be, but I'm not.
maybe. So we're doing a half and half. We're doing a half grazing table, half ham BAP station. So they'll get get the best of both worlds. So Tassie does a lot of things well, and cheese is definitely one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing about cheese, I will say, as another thing for that, is that you get to keep it too. Like, what do you do? Oh, okay. Before we come to a close, that's a really good last thing to touch upon.
Yep.
Because I think we've done really well at kind of going across how you do it, who you are, your ethos, all that kind of stuff, and the menu and stuff. I did have a question about the wood, does it matter what wood you use for these fires? Are you bringing in wood?
No,
it doesn't matter.
So it does. It absolutely matters.
Oh, okay.
So we cook exclusively on charcoal.
Oh,
and there's
okay,
a couple of
okay,
reasons for it. So in Tassie, as the last couple of months are testament to, we have a pretty reasonable moisture content, and that is in our wood. So how many times have you stood around a campfire and you just, like, the smoke follows you?
Yeah.
Like if you're travelling through Queensland and you manage to get your hands on some really good ironbark and you can't pick it up without a pair of gloves on because it's so dry and splintered, you just don't get that down here, right? So trying to cook on Tassie timber it doesn't turn into charcoal. Moisture content's too high. It smokes too much. Mm-hmm. It's a medium that's just not worth dabbling with. Mm-hmm. So we bring in charcoal, like lump charcoal. So that's been kilned, bagged up, really, really consistent, really, really hot, really, really neutral in flavour as well. So anything, American barbecue, if you look at something like an oak, a post oak, is a really vanilla.
Where do you get this from?
Style
Where does
timber.
this one
Something
buy
like
this?
hickory is really intense, right?
Yeah.
So we're using a lot of mallee root, charcoal. So this is from the mainland.
Yep.
New South Wales.
You just import it.
Yeah.
Massive bag loads, as well as the food.
Massive bag loads.
I'd imagine.
So the difference being that if we were to try and cook over timber, we would be going through a ton of timber every time.
I'd never
we
even
cook.
thought about it, mate.
And you've got to get it lit hours beforehand. So because you're not actually cooking over a flame, you're cooking over the heat source. So you need to turn that timber into charcoal to be able to get a consistent heat out of it. Does that make sense?
Of course.
So with buying the charcoal, we can get a little bit of paper towel, drizzle it with oil, put it underneath a handful of charcoal, light that. So super organic and easy way to be able to light a fire if you ever need to. It works super well. Once that charcoal starts to light, once it starts to turn white, we'll throw more on there. We'll sort of, like a little bit of a snake method or a coil method where you'll have an element of lit charcoal and then you'll sort of progress away from whatever the meat you might be cooking, with unlit charcoal, and it'll just burn like a wick. Mm-hmm. But charcoal is exclusively what we cook over, and it's all lump charcoal, so it's not pressed, not robot turds.
Yeah,
not
it's good to
pillows.
know, man. It's fascinating because we're in the market for a barbecue, and because my dad had one that I got from his place, and I just sat around for it. It was a big 4-burner thing. He had it for 20 years, and it's just used 2 or 3 times a year. It didn't inspire me to use it for one, but it also it just didn't do it very well. It didn't do the job very well. And so I was like, the other day we're talking about like, you know, what are we going to get for the summer? We've got Christmas Day here. We've got probably 40 on Christmas Day. We're going to need things. And I was like, I guess I just go get the Weber with the gas. But then I'm like, I'm not inspired to do it. But knowing that you can get the charcoal that can do it, it definitely makes it more of an undertaking. Would it not?
Yeah, but like, yeah, everything that is worth time takes time, right? Like, I don't know, what's the right word for it?
Everything worth doing is worth doing properly.
That's exactly
like
it.
that.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
So, look, at the end of the day, for me, if I go to my local butcher and I buy a tomahawk and I bring it home and I'm going to cook it that day, hopefully I've done the right thing and I've seasoned it the day before, whatever. But if you come home from work and you go straight out and you light your barbecue and you get your charcoal going, by the time you've gone back inside, you've got changed into your civvies, you've marinated your meat, you've got all your bits and pieces sort of sorted, your barbecue should be up and going, right?
Yeah.
Like, it
What's the
only
prep
takes
time on
20
charcoal?
minutes,
20
half an
minutes?
hour.
Really? Yeah.
That would be a fairly healthy lead time, I'd suggest.
Oh, that's great.
It depends on your barbecue, though, and how much you're going to be cooking or how many you're going to be cooking for. Like,
Yeah.
it's...
I've never thought about it. It's a whole different thing.
But it's preparation.
Yeah.
If you've done it 100 times, then you're going to walk into it going like, oh, no, I need to do this, and that's going to be really time efficient. That's going to make it work. If I want to be eating in an hour, then maybe, a minute steak might be a better option than maybe going with a tomahawk steak.
Sure.
Because you're probably going to need to apply a reverse to your cooking method or da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's the thing, right?
The weeds,
I know, the weeds, exactly. So, yeah, look,
Yeah.
I personally love cooking over charcoal.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
And even though it's my day-to-day grind, it's still something I love doing at home.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And my kids love being a part of it. Like, they've got their own, Angus wants to cook on Rusty, which is a great big Peter Matilla custom-made Santa Maria grill that I got made probably 5 years ago, and it weighs a couple of 100 kilos.
Good Lord.
And it was made for season and fire, and it's now a glorified garden ornament. It comes out for the taste of summer, and that's all it gets used for. But that's his barbecue. That's what he wants to cook on. Evelyn wants to cook on the red Weber. Got the pizza oven, got the smokers.
It's so cool.
There's a different tool for different cooking.
My kids are 4 and 6, so they're a bit young for but we've got one of those little pizza ovens that's wood pellet, camping thing, and it just adds such a fun afternoon to it. Just
great.
It's a shit show getting it the right temperature, mind you. But
we do cook on pizza ovens, and they are gas. Little Gosney rock boxes are like fire. We use them all the time, and we use them a lot at events because they're super hot. They still give you really great texture and really fast cooking method where you can control it. Like, there's nothing better than scallops, right? Scallops, super hot and fast.
Scallops.
If we can't do it over a hibachi, we can do it, or abalone, the dish that we'll be cooking at Taste of Summer this year, or one of the dishes we'll be cooking at Taste of Summer this year. We're lucky enough to get some abalone from the Tasmanian Indigenous seafood guys, and we'll be cooking that in Gosneys, in little pizza ovens, super hot and fast, in a pan, flash of a pan. Pizza ovens, they're great.
Yeah, cool.
And it's probably
it's
probably a daily grind barbecue. That's probably the barbecue we use the most.
The Gosney.
Yeah.
The Gosney, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting the Gosney then.
It's elite.
Maybe I'm buying the Gosney.
They're great.
It's a pizza oven though.
It's a pizza oven, but it's just, and you can do so
and
much.
It's gas.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if I want to cook if I want to cook a steak in there, I'll put in a cast iron plate.
Yeah, because it's on the stone, right? It's got a piece of stone on it.
So I'll put a cast iron plate in there, or a cast iron pan, and cast iron's like cooking over fire. Once it's seasoned well and you've cooked in it enough, nothing better.
Yeah,
like a good cast iron pan is just
really good to go there.
So delicious.
Yeah.
So, and I'll use that.
Yep.
But different horses for courses.
Horses for courses, man. Horses for courses.
Yeah.
I did want to touch on the leftovers thing just before you go, but I'm guessing you just box it up for them, or do you take it? How's it work?
I'll take it home and feed to the... No, I wouldn't do that. So
it's their food kind of thing?
Yeah, but it's also health, food and safety.
Yeah, sure.
So if we're going to put out, let's say, like a grazing table, and it's wedding season, and it's 25 degrees and it's pretty warm, and something's been, cheeses have been sitting out there for 3 hours. It's pretty hard to sort of pop it into a box and put it into a fridge and run the gauntlet of that sort of side of things. So, food, we want to make sure that everyone enjoys the food. We want to make sure that they remember it as being a good feast, not feeling unwell the next day. So there's an element of juggling that.
Yep.
When it comes to, if there's a big old bowl of salad or something along those lines that you've put down the middle of the table and no one's really touched it, then we'll pull it aside and put it off. But food health and safety is a big one, and it does make it hard. We've got pretty good at what we're doing over the last however long, and we're cooking to make sure that we're overfeeders by nature.
Yes, you do. You are one of the caterers that there's always more, and there's always more for the vendors, which we obviously love and appreciate.
We love our vendors, and that's that's a big thing, right? Like reputation's hard and easily lost, and the vendor community works as hard as anyone. And when we recommend somebody, like I'd recommend yourself or you do that at your own peril. Right, you don't suggest somebody easily.
100%.
So we want to make sure that if people are going to recommend us or they're going to talk about us, that the vendors get to experience the same thing as what the guests are doing. Right, like we're not going to send you off with as delicious as a ham and cheese roll might be at the end of the evening. That is not going to be when I've been cooking eye fillet or lamb rump or something along those lines. I'm not going to cook all that in front of you and then go,
here's this.
Here you go, Jordan.
Here's a lean cuisine in the microwave. I've had that happen. I'm not joking. I've had a lean cuisine. I've no shit, and I do think that was a different. It was not down here in Tassie, but I do think there is an element there of keeping your vendors happy. Within reason, but keeping them fed and thinking, But you guys and Sabre and stuff like, oh my god, and Hubert and Dan, you're like, come on.
Vendors work bloody hard, and they deserve to be well fed. Yeah, like it
keeps the energy up, it keeps us going.
Absolutely.
What time are you packing down and getting out of there? You always there till the end?
If we're doing bar service, we'll be there till the end.
Not everybody, not the whole staff, but
not the whole staff. No, chefs are gone. They're on the road by that stage. Knowing our chefs, they're probably at the pub, enjoying a beer themselves.
Wrong with going to the pub.
Hard earned, I might add. Slaving over a hot fire all day is thirsty work. Feed your chefs.
There you go. Yeah,
great way to get well fed.
There you
go. So once everything's sort of run and done, but same thing for us. We're there early. Like we're there real early in the day. Huge days.
Before guests.
Like 12, 14. And, bear in mind that we've got to go to the kitchen, got to get everything packed up. Let's say we are in the Central Highlands. Then, that morning is go to the kitchen, get everything boxed up. You're going to drive 2-3 hours to site, whatever it might be. You set up. It's hot. You're going to marquee. It's going to take... you're going to be there for 6-7 hours just cooking and serving and then packing down and cleaning up. Yep. And then you pretty much...
It's a day, man.
It's a day. It's a huge day.
I'm the same. It's not the same kind of... it's kind of similar. Like the day before, I'm out here in this office prepping... Sure. And a song list, organising things, details, and obviously we run a lot but we have sometimes 8-9 on a weekend with different people out, and I'm making sure everyone's got the gear they need to go here. And that's Friday, and then you think especially when soccer season's on with the kids or something, you're like, I've got tomorrow morning, but then you look at your thing and you're like, oh shit, no, I need to be out in my office at 11. Packing that car by 11:30 because I got to hit the road by this to get there by that. You know what I mean? It just and I got to iron my freaking shirt or whatever. Yeah. It's like whatever you think the 3 o'clock arrival for setup or whatever it may be is turns into this 3 hour thing before it, which turns it into a 15-hour day.
It's nothing to have a 15-hour day. Hey?
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you're going to be driving that sort of distance, it's unsafe for people to be driving home. Like it's a super long day. So, if we're travelling, we'll often get a comm.
Yeah, of course.
But it is what it is. But talking about that, the real heroes of the industry are the people that the grandparents, the partners, that sort of stuff. I'm really lucky that I get to work with Mabel, but we've got 3 kids, and the keystone of our business isn't just like the 2 of us. It's who you surround yourself with, and that's family and friends that are looking after the kids.
Mate, you just had Susie, who you did her wedding. She just knocked on the door to come borrow a pan before we started, and she was sorting us out on Friday because I was on a thing, and we dropped it. She lives 2 minutes from here, but like had to drop her there to get this to here, and we have like an army of babysitters because we're both on site.
Of course.
You know, so we have this like revolving door with a spreadsheet that's just as important because how are we going to get there if they're not sorted? Laura's on the mission she wants to get an au pair in, like a live-in nanny for the summer because we're that slammed. It's just like to have somebody around for 30 hours that could be on every shift, and we knew that was sorted because they're living here.
Yes.
You know, I don't like people in my space, but like, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
No, look, I'm all about it.
You know?
Yeah, if you find a good one, let me know.
Yeah, I will, man. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
But it is what it is.
Yeah,
the wedding industry is for us now. There's no real season.
Yeah, same.
Like
Same.
we do heaps.
There's a little
of work
break in July, so maybe.
Yeah, but I think with what we do, I suppose cooking over fire and the romance of like a dark background evening setting. Everyone's sort of standing around the fire, like it has its own sort of thing.
Absolutely,
and that keeps us busy throughout the entire year. Like we really do. You slow down.
Yep.
But you've got to make hay while the sun shines.
You do.
And we've only got so many weekends in Tassie with reasonably reliable weather.
That's it.
We end up cramming in.
And you do the taste as well, which must be a whole thing. I mean, we won't get into that because that's a whole conversation.
Got two stores at the taste. This
2 stores at the taste, and I mean that's just must
launching
be
a new business as well.
That's exciting. Well, I'll get you back on to talk about that, mate.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Time, mate, but
yeah.
Well, you're unbelievably good at what you do, and I love eating your food, and I like being on site with you and your team. It's always a good vibe, and I hope that today, there's so much that goes into all these elements, which is exactly what this show is about. It's like every little person from the cake to the florist to the celebrant to the caterers to the venue to the groundsman.
100%.
It's a crazy world that takes a lot of expertise and experience to execute these days. And you're really good at what you do. So thanks so much for coming on the show, Jimmy from Season and Fire.
Thank you very much,
man. Thanks so much.
Love to hang out.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.